Hello, Justin Frandson here, Athleticism Performance Coach and host of our 2018 EMF Radiation and Electricity Pollution Summit Series. This is the video to watch. This is your roadmap. We are going beyond right here, right now with this roadmap to electricity and how to coexist with man-made EMF. Cover-ups, definitions, how it affects us. The list goes on and on. You're gonna learn about it all now. All the different types of electricity and how it affects us. Let's start now with, oh my goodness, the biggest cover-up that I've heard since the CDC on autism. Now, we're talking about the CDPH, so the California Department of Public Health. Last year, finally, they released, after being sued by UC Berkeley, a professor sued them to release information that they were covering up, that cell phones caused us damage. They released this report right here, CDPH. There it is circled. Now we're gonna go up. I'm gonna read what's in the bracket. Long-term, high use of cell phones may be linked to certain types of cancer and other health effects, including brain cancer, tumors, acoustic nerve, that's for your hearing and balance, salivary glands, low sperm count for men and less mobile sperm, and for women, ovaries absorb 10 times the amount of radiation that any other part of their body absorbs. So this is a massive fertility challenge for our country and the population replenishment rate that's already diminishing. In addition, headaches, effects on learning, memory, hearing, behavior, and sleep when we're supposed to be healing and resting. Yeah, this stuff pings us and keeps us awake all night. Here's a list of their sources. They went and published it. I'm gonna cover and read some definitions from some of these documents for you. CDPH, the California Department of Public Health, hid this from us for years. So thanks to the UC Berkeley for uncovering it and allowing us to learn about this information. Because if it weren't for them, this wouldn't be public. And you know what? It's okay. Now that we know about it, we're gonna create a boundary with it. Okay, we're not gonna get it out of our lives. This isn't going anywhere. We love technology. We just need to know when to shut it down and unplug and turn it off, okay? That's the boundary when we're resting and healing that we need to have. We need to learn about harmonizing products that can harmonize it so it doesn't create that vibration effect. This information's okay. We just need to know about it, not cover it up. So, you guys, what's the difference between ionizing versus non-ionizing? Everyone says like, oh, it's okay because it's non-ionizing. Well, that's not exactly all true. Here is the spectrum, the chart. I'm gonna go over this visible chart for you so you can see what we're looking at. On the upper right part of the screen is ionizing. Upper left, non-ionizing. Straight down below there, look at ionizing is X-rays. Non-ionizing, you have extremely low frequency, radio, and then it goes into the thermal effects of microwave and all. These are the challenging spectrum that we need to be aware of, okay? So ionizing is really high frequency, high energy. Non-ionizing is low frequency, low energy radiation, all right? Man-made EMF is polarizing. It goes in one direction and it causes all this chaos and ends up hurting us and causing a vibration effect that causes cell damage. So whether it's non-ionizing or ionizing like an X-ray that has trillions of waves per second, they're still affecting our health, directly and indirectly. So let me show you what Dr. Martin Pall came up with. This is absolutely the defining moment showing us that man-made EMF actually hurts our body and we need to really have a balance act around it. He discovered that the voltage-gated calcium channels, the VGCCs, open up, let positive calcium into a negative cell and cause tremendous free radical cell damage within the cell that lead to the long list of health challenges that we have. Here's a really beautiful graph for you listing it. EMFs on the right, all right? They go into this vibration effect. You can see it right here, okay? Then they go into causing that chaos. Then they go into the cell, letting positive calcium into a negative cell. That causes cell damage. That's what we're doing. We're gonna harmonize that vibration, or else we're gonna have massive health challenges, because we're actually good with radiation, from a distance, but not when it causes a vibration on us. So the California Department of Public Health, among others, are saying that, hey, and our requirements for our entire country are about thermal effect. They're actually saying until our cells actually raise a temperature, that these frequencies are okay for us. That is entirely untrue, because we now know, thanks to Dr. Martin Pall, that they cause indirect damage to our cells that open up those voltage-gated calcium channels and wreak havoc on our body. And then once those cells are damaged, that's when that long list of health challenges come into effect. So now we know what the definitions are, what the spectrum is. In addition, the Cal Berkeley's having a right to know law. They're wanting to get all this information out there that the CTIA, the wireless associations, are trying to block and hide. You guys, it's okay, just share this information with us. We need to know about it, all right? And when we know, we're not gonna let you put a 5G in front of our house, because we know it causes millimeter waves that are tremendously, small waves that are gonna hurt us, so much more than any other thing else out there, and we've never seen it. So it's absolutely daunting. The biggest challenge here is in 1996, the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, decides how much radiation is allowed in our US, and the limit is 1.6 watts per kilogram. The challenge is that was set in 1996. Yeah, set in 1996, hasn't been changed. Has our technology changed in the last 22 years? Yeah, just a little bit. Probably the biggest significant change in the last 22 years in the history of our entire world. Every year it gets better and faster and stronger, and our regulations haven't changed for 22 years. Something's gotta change on this. We gotta look at it. And the FCC is just saying, hey, these are just guidelines. They're not really in charge of our health, and there's other regulations that are. So we need to inform these guys what's really going on. So France banned Wi-Fi over 3 years ago in elementary schools. They understand that these have polarizing effects. These are polarizing effects on our body. There's not just Wi-Fi. We have 3 different sources of electricity. We have electricity. We have dirty electricity. Electricity, well, let's go over what electricity is. The power lines, obviously. The generator boxes, they look like a gray trash can on the top of the pole, the power line pole. Dirty electricity is the metering from your substations back and through your house. Those connections through the metal and the non-ionizing metal, that carries that vibration frequency. Dim switches, when they're set at a minimum, those things spark, cause extra chaos. That's dirty electricity. Individually, so damaging. I mean, cancer causing like crazy. And then we're gonna cover radio frequencies. Radio frequencies are everything from microwaves to radar and all. So we're gonna cover those 3 topics. Now, there's a professor named Martin Blank. He's a PhD, physiology and cellular biophysics at Columbia University. He says that the proteins are used for protection. The cells saying that aren't bad. For me, it has nothing to do about it. Okay, this guy's saying that cell phones have proved to have stress and proteins in cells, and this causes tremendous damage, all right? German found that radio frequency 16 is equal to 1,600 chest x-rays. So if you're having 24 hours of radio frequency on a phone next to you, that equals to 1,600 x-rays. Who wants 10 chest x-rays in one day? I want none. This is crazy information. So you guys, let me go over the actual frequencies and how they're measured and how they meter. So they measure them in waves per second. Our brain revs when we're sleeping at 8 to 12 hertz or waves per second. The Earth, the Schumann resonance, is 7.83 waves per second. So our Earth has this pulse, this beating pulse. That's what it revs at. And that's why it's so great for us to ground and soothe and get that amazing soothing vibration and harmonize our body. Now these frequencies, these radio frequency, electricity, all these have their own waves per second that are tremendously higher. We're talking trillions of times higher than what we're normally used to resting at. So for example, Wi-Fi is 2.4 gigahertz or 5Gs. That's 5 billion waves per second. 5 billion waves per second. The 5G, the 5th generation, that's going to be faster, hundreds times faster than what we already have and can access, like 5 billion units out there. It's just unbelievably daunting. This stuff is 300 times stronger. Okay, so it can measure up to 300 gigahertz or waves per second. That's actually well into the upper billions, if not trillions. It's just like having a microwave oven just outside your door. They want to put it on poles outside of every house, every 3 to 4 houses. It's going to absolutely devastate your health. These frequencies are unbelievably scary, 5G especially. So then we go to cell phone towers. That's 800 to 2200 millihertz. That's 2.2 billion waves per second. Cell phones, 1 billion waves per second. Smart meters, well, yeah, 2.5 billion waves per second. Gas meters, 500 million waves per second. 500 megahertz, million waves per second. Electricity, 60 waves per second. So electricity in our house, 60 waves per second. And that's like the minimum we're supposed to be at, but that's what these guys are measuring at. All right, and the US has set procedural policies on minimum of exposure. And they're saying that that's okay. Well, that's not even close to okay. We're supposed to be down into none, actually, but as low as we can. Anything below that is considered safe for an adult, and anything below 10 is considered safe for kids. So this is absolutely daunting information. So a German, that German study, Dr. Alekhofer, he was the one that claimed that 24 hours of cell phone use is equal to 1,600 chest x-rays. So now you can see we have all these other sources. In addition, when your cell phone's on, that has a cellular service. That's that bar with the kind of the brackets, the parentheses around it. Then you have Wi-Fi, which is like the 3 parentheses. That's Wi-Fi. That's another several billion signals. And then you have your Bluetooth, which is even more. So on our own cell phone, we have all those on at all time. The cell phone company has them to all just default on. We don't need Bluetooth on all the time unless you're in your car and you really need hands-free and you can't hear off your speaker. We don't need Wi-Fi on at all, really. The cellular service covers everything from phones to text to surfing the web. You can cover all that on your cell phone. So minimize, check which are on, and throughout the day keep checking, because I've often found that mine keeps popping up on my Apple phone. It keeps popping up that I have Wi-Fi, and I'm like, I don't need Wi-Fi, I only need cellular. So these are things to be aware of. This is unbelievable result. So electricity, we covered dirty electricity and radio frequencies. Let's start to go over the definition of these wavelengths. So the wavelength is that distance that's covered in one complete cycle of electromagnetic wave, and the frequency is the number of electromagnetic waves passing a given point in 1 second. Okay, so again, we're measuring these in waves per second. So now you can see how many crazy waves are going on per second when our body's supposed to be resting and healing and flowing. Now, the government's put out a Sar rating. It's your absorption rating. It's your specific absorption rating. You can find that on the back of cell phones. There's other sites that list it. It's just our skin absorbs this radiation, which is really what you need to know. High-powered levels of radio frequency can heat up water molecules. So that's how microwave ovens work, is these trillions of waves per second heat up water. So we're just below that, but it's still causing these vibration, these indirect effects to our health. This is absolutely unbelievable. So Dr. Mercola's written an article, and he has that the microwaves, their millimeter from the 5G is between 30 gigahertz and 300 gigahertz. I mean, those are unbelievably daunting numbers. We are looking at a catastrophe in our health and our future. This is GMO on steroids. So the cover up from the California Department of Public Health, they're just really putting us in a really challenging situation, because we're now just learning the magnitude on this. So now we understand the 3 different types: electricity, dirty electricity, and radio frequencies. We understand how they're measured from hertz, how that equates to waves per second, and how much we're far surpassing that. We understand ionizing versus non-ionizing. We now can look at reports from companies like that have published these. Bioinitiative.org is one of the ones out there that you guys need to be aware of. They had 40 countries with several hundred scientists produce over 4,000 reports verifying, all validating that EMF radiation is actually polarizing to our health. I mean, do we need 4,100 studies? Do we need 5,000? Do we need 7,000 like the tobacco industry had? No, it's already there. It's already written out for us. We just need to listen and understand and produce laws behind it, like France did banning Wi-Fi 3 years ago. Russia has 1,000 times more stringent policies on exposure to radiation. These countries like France, they have Wi-Fi free zones, not Wi-Fi hot zones. We're looking for free zones. Schools, oh my goodness, you guys, these kids, their blood-brain barrier hasn't even been developed yet. So for schools having cell towers nearby, Wi-Fi on, routers on, access to all that stuff, they are causing tremendous damage to the brain, which will lead to memory challenges, behavioral challenges. Autism is one of the biggest things it's leading to. Yeah, CDC covering up that vaccinations caused it. Well, Del Bigtree, autism. This electricity is coming up the ranks on that one. Now we're figuring it out. You guys, the pie graph, when electricity got into our homes in, let's say in the 60s, has gone straight up on cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer, of course, and then suicide. The pie graph just goes up and up and up. Check out bioinitiative.org. You'll see all their 4,000 studies. They have a summary report right on the homepage. It's all there for you. This information is very readily accessible. So the good news is on our summit, you'll find that EMF Rocks has products that harmonize that vibration. So those voltage-gated calcium channels won't open up. So in theory, we're good with radiation. We have radon all around us. We have the sun, but that's unpolarized. That's unpolarized light. That distributes equally in 360 degrees range of motion. Man-made EMF is polarized, and it goes in one direction and starts banking and causes this subatomic chaos that causes the vibration that opens up the VGCCs that cause cell damage, DNA damage, period. Okay, so now well, thanks to EMF Rocks and their suite of products that they sell that harmonize the vibration, we can coexist with man-made EMF. Now, we have blockers, shields that Dave Stetzer Electric has, that you can put up a sheath to block that smart meter and deflect it away from your bed. We have a balance of knowledge, knowing that we need to turn the stuff off, not only turn it off, but put it on airplane mode so it stops even looking for the signal. And then shut the power off, get it out of our rooms. You guys, we are so empowered. We're empowering you with this information on the summit to take you beyond in your health and your well-being and allow us to thrive with new technology and coexist with man-made EMF, not have it be the most just challenging detriment to our health in the future generations. This information is all here for you on our summit. You guys, dive into the speakers. We have an array of doctors and experts that have unbelievable products and services and information and resources that they've collected. Dr. Cohn, he was lecturing on this topic 20 years ago when it first started, like when people started realizing how bad it really was. This isn't new for these guys. They've been fighting the battle for years. Now, with me working with clients, it's the #1 biggest challenge. I'm metering houses. I'm going into a house and clearing, finding out what the stressors are, harmonizing it with these products, the EMF Rocks products that we sell, and making people's lives so healthy and different. Getting rid of pain, mold. Yes, mold and microtoxins love EMF. EMF loves them. They thrive on it. They grow. So if someone has Lyme disease, yeah, once you harmonize that vibration, that'll start to flush out of you. We live in Newport Beach, California. This is coastal community. There's lots of mold around here. And parasites. Parasites love EMF. They're charged. Those parasites are charged by that vibration. The second you clear it, your body will flush. I am prime example of it. I had that challenge, harmonized it with these products, and my body flushes better than ever. This stuff is unbelievable for your health. You will sleep better when you start to harmonize that vibration. Then you'll be able to rest. We can't sleep and have something pinging us at billions of hertz per second when we're sleeping at 8 to 12 hertz per second. That doesn't work for our brain. When we go out of a deep REM sleep, our brain's trying to figure out what's waking it up. And then once we wake up, we have life to deal with. And we're like, okay, we're not going to bed again right now. Let's just stare at the ceiling for a few hours and then get up. This is what we're going after here. You guys, when you can clear that vibration and learn to shut this down, get that cell phone out of your room. Get it away from your bed. Don't have it on in your room. Unplug, heal. Allow this stuff to just use it and have a balance with it. And when you're not on it, shut it down. Okay, I'm not on my computer right now, so I turn the signal off. It's not searching for anything. It's not pinging. And we're gonna show you with a Stetzer meter what the dirty electricity reads. We're gonna show you with an acoustimeter. We're gonna show you with a Gauss meter. We can meter electricity with Gauss, dirty electricity with Stetzer meter, and a radio frequency meter. We can meter all these levels and show you, quantifiably show you the strength of the signals. Compared to what we normally rev at, there's a massive rift and gap that we need to balance. So this information is gonna be tremendously beneficial for you, your future, your health, your longevity, your family's health, and future generations. Fertility is probably one of the scariest deals right now. So when someone's pregnant, you have a pregnant woman on the phone, that vibration's going straight through to the fetus. That fetus in the first several trimesters, they have 0 blood-brain barrier developed, 0. Their skull's not even developed. They are getting fried. So the mom's actually frying the babies. This is self-induced EMF pollution and poison that we're doing. Okay, now we have cell tellers all around us. We're gonna learn to balance that out. But the self-induced, that's like, for me, it's like having an athlete just go and blow their knee out on their own. That should never happen under my care. Like, you need to stabilize that person before they go out and play. We need to have these boundaries of this EMF stuff before we start to use it, okay? So that's what we're talking about. Now we have the formula for you. Thank you guys so much for participating in the summit, joining us. Please check out all of our summit sponsors. We have some tremendous sponsors throughout all the years. There's products that can help with your gut, quantum neurology. We're looking at Stetzer Electric, EMF Rocks. I mean, the list goes on and on as far as the incredible, incredible sponsorships that we are affiliated with. Go to the sponsor page, click on those links, and you're gonna find an array of products and list of products and solutions, services that are gonna take you beyond where you currently are and allow you to just thrive. So thanks for joining us. We'll be seeing you on multiple more videos, so enjoy.